O&M 101. What is orientation? Learn what orientation is in Orientation and Mobility, O&M. On screen, a person uses a white cane on a street.
Hello, parents and caregivers, and welcome to MDE-LIO's Parent Educational Video Series, where we break down the mystery of big educational labels and the little acronyms that represent them. I'm Amy Shepard, Parent Liaison to the Michigan Department of Education Low Incidence Outreach, or MDE-LIO for short. And that, folks, is our first acronym. I'm a parent of a young man who is legally blind, a community advocate, and a constant collaborator. Today, I'm collaborating with Beth Brabs, a certified orientation mobility specialist at MDE-LIO. Hi, Beth.
Hi, Amy.
Beth, tell us a little bit more about yourself.
I'm the newest education consultant here at MDE-LIO, and I started here in August of 2021. Before taking this job, I worked in public schools as a teacher consultant for the visually impaired and an orientation and mobility specialist for more than 30 years. I've truly enjoyed working with students who have visual impairments. It's been so wonderful. And I can honestly say that I've learned as much from my students and their families as they've learned from me.
I'm sure you have. So, Beth, we've been talking about orientation mobility, and as we've established, you are an O&M specialist. There's that acronym again, O&M, or Orientation and Mobility. Today, I'm curious to learn more about orientation. What would you say are the orientation skills that students who are blind and visually impaired need to learn?
Amy, first, we need to remember that orientation is knowing where you are in space. Your child's IEP will specify what orientation skills need to be learned, and your child's O&M specialist can talk with you about that to help you understand why and when we teach certain skills. But remember, you are the most important part of the IEP team, so please express your desires for orientation skills that you want your child to learn, and explain to your O&M specialist why those skills are important to you and your family.
Yeah.
Know that orientation is likely going to be a lifelong goal for your child. It isn't enough to just receive information about your environment. You have to be able to interpret it and know what it's telling you about where you are. When your child is young, basic body and positional and directional and spatial concepts need to be learned. And as time goes on, the O&M specialist will help your child learn more advanced environmental concepts using those other more simple concepts.
Okay, so it sounds like you're talking about understanding your left from your right and up from down, as well as other skills such as knowing where your bedroom is in your own home or where your classroom is at school.
You got it. Your child will also need to learn how to use their other senses to know where they are in space.
Right. So when my son was young, he was really motivated by sounds around our house. So I used his interest to encourage him to explore room from room. And while he did that, I tried to provide words so that he would understand what he was hearing. And he quickly learned that the sound of the piano meant that he was in the living room, or the sound of conversations coming from the TV meant that he was in the family room. And when the microwave beeped, he knew that he was in the kitchen.
That's great, Amy. Talking to your child about what they see, hear, touch, smell, and taste in their environment is such a good way to teach positional, directional, and spatial concepts. Even if your child is too young to understand the words that you're using, you should still say them. If your child's level of vision is useful for travel, their O&M specialist will teach them how to use that vision to their advantage.
Yeah, so we knew early on that my son could see colors, so we used colors inside and outside the house all the time to help him. And he learned to recognize that there was a difference between the brown hardwood floors and the yellow carpet that went up the stairs. And he certainly knew that his chair at the dinner table was blue. And as he got a little bit older and he started to gain more independence, he was able to identify things in our neighborhood, such as stop signs and the white lines that go across the crosswalks. And that was very helpful for him in the neighborhood.
Yeah, I'm sure that was. Children who don't have useful vision will learn other ways to stay oriented using their other senses. Orientation could involve learning to use a device too, like a telescope, to read a street sign or an address, or something simple like sunglasses or a hat if your child has difficulty with bright sunlight. There are so many sensory clues in our world that will help us get oriented.
Tell us a little bit more about what you mean by that.
I think the best way for me to explain is, again, to give you an example. Imagine you're in a familiar neighborhood and your child is walking down the sidewalk. They've established a safe route and they know that they're on the sidewalk because their cane is touching grass on both sides as they're walking. And they hear traffic on one side of their body because the street's on that side. And they're using their sense of touch with the cane to feel the grass and the sidewalk. And they're using their hearing to know that they're on the sidewalk that is parallel to the street because they hear that street. They can also use a sense that we call proprioception. Proprioception is kind of feeling your body react to whatever it's touching. So, for example, when you're walking down the street, if your feet become uneven, your sense of proprioception will tell you, oh, I'm like off kilter a little bit. And sometimes that will happen along with other things, like you notice that the grass is no longer on the side of you, but it's in front of you. And using proprioception and the feeling that you get from the cane of the grass in front of you helps you realize that you're no longer on the sidewalk. And as it turns out, you've veered into someone's driveway. They might not know this right away, but the O&M specialist will talk to them about the fact that their feet feel uneven because one of them's on the side closer, on the slope, of the driveway, closer to the street, and the other one is closer to the sidewalk. And they will learn eventually that all of that information combined tells them that they've veered. When this happens, it gives the O&M specialist an opportunity to teach them how to solve that problem and how to get back to the sidewalk so that they can walk to their destination. Through lots of practice, your child will be able to veer into a driveway and then find that sidewalk all by themselves. And sometimes they even learn to notice that foot being off kilter right away so they don't even veer into the driveway. They step right back onto the sidewalk.
Yeah, and that's all so important because problem solving is a huge skill that they will use in their daily lives. And knowing that my child was learning these skills gave me the courage to let him try new things and to make mistakes and learn from those mistakes.
It's so hard for a parent to do that, Amy, because, we spend all of our time trying to protect them from harm. That's our job as parents. But it's so essential to give our kids the opportunity to make mistakes and be independent in fixing them. They need to know that they can fix those mistakes. That will help them build confidence when they're out traveling away from O&M lessons.
Right. Well, thank you so much, Beth, for teaching us today about orientation. Understanding these skills and practicing them at home can help our students become safe, independent travelers. Parents and caregivers, please remember to check out the MDE-LIO website for other videos in our Parent Educational Video series. See you next time.
Bye.
In 2023, Beth Brabs returned to working as a teacher consultant for the visually impaired and orientation and mobility specialist at the Macomb Intermediate School District. She supports students in their local programs in Macomb County, Michigan. Learn more at mdelio.org. Find more videos, get resources, and learn how MDE-LIO can support you.